Hello, and today we're going to be looking at how to make a fillable PDF in Adobe Acrobat Pro. So the first thing I want to note is that you have to have Adobe Acrobat Pro to be able to do this. There's some special features that that particular program has. And so once you have that downloaded on your computer, you're going to go ahead and make some sort of whatever that form is that you want. I made a generic one here, something that maybe a person could use for a catering service per se. All right, so I have my form opened up in Acrobat, and over here I'm going to click All Tools, then go down to View More and Prepare a Form. So now it's asking me what document do I want to create the form from. Obviously the one that I've got opened, so we'll hit Create Form. And then this is actually, it's trying to be helpful, and if it had noted maybe some areas where it thought should be a form, such as like a line where maybe somebody was supposed to write on, it would have go ahead and help us out and create some form fields. It didn't see that on my document. That's not a problem, but sometime if you were to do a form, it might be helpful and kind of just trying to give you a little head start in the form. So not with this one, again, no problem at all. Okay, so over here on the left, we have different things that we can do with our form. One of the first things I actually want to do is here I'd like to be at these two checkboxes. So I'm going to go to checkbox and add two checkboxes. And then on all the other areas, I want it to be a text field. So we're going to go hit text field and drop that in as well. You can edit the text field to fit more precisely, which is the next thing that I want to do here. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this out all the way and fit a little more snug within this area. Really, you only need to make the field as far as you think the text will go that's going to fit in there. So date of event, probably my user's not going to need this entire space. I'm just going to go ahead and put that, and then you can edit the field to be a little bit more custom. And so the way you can do that is by double clicking it, or you could do control click to open the text field properties. So the first thing we're going to look at is the general tab, which is where the name is. I'm going to call this text box 1. And then I want to go to appearance, where I can change the font size. This is a pretty narrow area, so I'm going to say 8 point. I want the text color to be, let's go with blue. And I'll change the font from Helvetica to Helvetica Bold. All right, and then the last thing I want to do in the properties is the option. So right here, there's some couple ways about how this particular text field is going to perform. It's going to do automatic check spelling. I like that. It's going to do scroll long text. That's currently checked on, which means if they put more text than what fits in here, it'll kind of just keep rolling. I don't want to do that because I don't think my user needs more than this much space to put the date of event. So I'll check that off. All right, so we're good on that one. I like the settings that I put on, or the properties on here. So I'm just going to copy this and paste it a couple of times, so I don't have to go ahead and change, you know, the text color and all those different aspects every single time. Which you could, and obviously if you wanted to customize and you wanted different colors or different fonts or whatever the case may be on your different areas, you could totally go in and edit every single one to be different. For this form, that's not what I want. I'm just going to go back and I'm going to tweak a couple, and I'll show you why. Okay, so the first thing I want to point out is because I copy and pasted every single one of these, you'll notice there's the same name, text box 1, etc. All right, so that's not a good thing because it thinks that those are actually all the same text box. For the sake of illustration, I'll go ahead and leave text box, these two guys, the same. Or actually, I'll go ahead and I'll leave these two being called text box 1 so I can illustrate why it's important to make sure that you have a different name on there. Otherwise, I need to go into General and I need to rename all of these to be unique. And again, I'm just leaving these two just for the sake of illustration in a second. Him number 4, number 5. And you might have noticed that with this one, I made it bigger. That's because I've got this under like my dinner details where there's going to be a lot more text in here with the description. And I want them to have multiple lines that I can go on, so a whole paragraph. So the really great thing is over here in options, I can then click multi-line. And that'll make it to where they're not just limited to the width in one line like they are on the other boxes. It'll actually scroll and create multiple lines. So I've checked on multi-line there. We'll name him 6, or 7. And then for this one, you'll notice that it's on a black background. So we can change the color of that, which is awesome. So change them 8, and then we're going to go to Appearance, and we'll change the text color here to white. Great. So everything's looking pretty good, except for we know that this is going to be an error. Awesome. So we'll close this out, and then let's test out our form and make sure that everything's working like we expected. So let's make up an address, say 123. All right, everything's looking pretty good here. I'll drop some lore ipsum in here. So actually, let me show you what it's gonna do. So you see how it bounces down to the next line? That's perfect, that's exactly what I wanted. I'll drop some lore ipsum in here. Okay, dinner price, let's say a number, delivery. And then this, we wanted this to be white. Let's double check that that happened. Perfect. All right, and check, make sure these work. Okay, that works, or that works. But we've got the check marks. All right, so now look what happens because these two check boxes are named the same. It goes ahead and it says the same number. And if we change one here, change it. So that would be the only error that we're seeing. And that's something that we do need to correct just by going back and changing that. All right, so we know it's the one thing we want to change, but we need to clear these forms. So we're going to do that by going to Edit, and we're going to go to the main edit up here, and then Form Options and Clear Form. All right, I'm going to go back to All Tools, Prepare Form, and that'll just kind of get us back to where we were before, and we just need to change this to text box 2. All right, and then this is called, I'll just hover over it, checkbox, different names, so that's how come they didn't go at the same time. Yeah, so 2 different checkbox names is on there, so that's perfect. All right, everything there looks really good. So let's go ahead and close that out. And then what I would do is I would save this PDF, and maybe save this because the other one did not have the editable or fillable fields. This one does, so we want to save it with something like that on the end of that PDF's name. All right, so now we have our editable PDF. If you have any questions, drop them below. If not, enjoy making your editable fields and using them with your different clients.